They consider us the number one enemy.
There's something called malware or Trojan horse software. We're at war, that our adversaries are in the grid.
You're telling me that Ukraine has a more sophisticated power system than the United States?
So, cyber attacks. So, Jennifer Granholm is the Secretary of Energy under Joe Biden currently. So, she was asked on a Sunday morning talk show about if our adversaries are currently in the grid and therefore could shut down our power grid. And she responded affirmatively. So, there's something called malware or Trojan horse software. And essentially, this malware can be laying in wait, latent, and ready to go, to be signaled. Senator Angus King, had a tirade in a congressional committee talking about this, saying that we're at war, that our adversaries are in the grid. And therefore, here we have two major public officials responding that this is a case right now. And for these 300 Chinese transformers that have been provided to us because they're cheaper, in my opinion, and China Xi has talked about how they are at war with the United States, essentially.
They consider us the number one enemy.
Exactly.
They consider us the number one enemy. And so cyber attacks, thousands of daily cyber attacks, just thousands of them, of at least attempted attacks are happening daily. This is what really gets me. There is no regulated protection to remove any of this malware or Trojan horse software that they're putting into these transformers. There's literally no oversight. The next geopolitical conflict will likely be in the form of a cyber war, and they are using another mind-blowing thing. So they are using Ukraine as basically a testing ground on shutting power grids down using this malware.
We think that's certainly the case. Now, I have not seen anything, we mentioned in the movie about 2015, 2016. This is before the Ukrainian war, that there were three major cyber attacks against the Ukraine. And there was conjecture that, came from Ukrainians that said that we were probably the test case for this. Now, what's happened in the last year and a half that Putin has been fighting, a kinetic war against Ukraine, and we know they've gone after the power grid. And frankly, Ukraine is probably less sensitive than we are because they have less current technology and more analog technology and less digital electronics. And therefore, that makes, them a little bit less vulnerable than our systems that are more digital and more advanced.
So you're telling me that Ukraine has a more sophisticated power system than the United States?
No, I'm saying actually less sophisticated in terms of older and less, but in this case,
they have more stability.
More stability. Sometimes older is better because it's more analog and less digital, and therefore less likely to be susceptible to malware, etc.
So if this malware, let's say you said there's 300 transformers from China. There's no regulation that says they need to inspect these for malware or Trojan horses. So I think it would be safe to assume all 300 of these transformers have something inside of them that China can control from a long ways away. How easy would it be if they are all of them are infected? Any of them are infected with this malware or Trojan horse? Is it literally just the push of a button?
I'm not, a cyber technology expert like that, but from what I understand, it's real possible. Yes.
It's simple.
Yeah.
It's simple to take it out.
Yeah.
If those are installed.
Yeah.
Have they found any? Has anybody inspected any of these transformers or?
So actually, it hit the news where a major, high voltage transformer was inspected, by the energy department and by some of our labs, and because there was suspicion, and it was not put into the grid, but then it's nothing has ever come out publicly, and so it's been top secret, but we don't know. But I have a feeling, again, our government is not being completely forthcoming to us. They're not going to tell us, oh, by the way, we found out all our Chinese, this Chinese transformer has all this malware in it. But they certainly could have come out and said, oh, we inspected it, it's all fine. And they certainly haven't said that.
So, well, I mean, the government is. I think if it was clean, then they probably would have released it. I mean, the government doesn't. They don't want to embarrass themselves.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.